Hello everybody and welcome to Crafty Auntie M's Kitchen. It looks like my mic is working, so please let me know if you can't hear me at any time. I am Crafty Auntie M and we are baking cookies today. My favorite cookies, in fact, chocolate chip. Nothing fancy here. It is just the good old Nestle Toll House recipe. And as usual, I'm accompanied by the famous and ever adorable Stanley the dog. Want your, carrot? No, oh really? You don't want carrot anymore? You deserve better? Is that what you're telling me? You want your own cookie? Should I get you your own cookie? We'll get Stanley a cookie. So Stanley has his own peanut butter oatmeal banana cookies that I make him. He is a lover of all things sweet, so we try and keep it as healthy as possible. Oh, yeah? So he says, the heck with the healthy stuff and give me a cookie. There you go. Good dog. All right. Okay, so we're going to get started. I've got my new top-down cameras you can see in the view there. I've got my butter melting. Sorry about that. So I pre-browned my butter because I wanted it to be somewhat cooled for baking, but I still wanted it liquid form. Unfortunately, I left it in my freezer just a little too long, so it went back to solid form. I've got it on very low heat on the oven. I just want it to cook long enough so that it is no longer solid. So as soon as that is ready, we'll get started on baking some cookies. Good afternoon there, Mr. Ropeman. Glad you could stop in, even if it's just for a little bit. I know you said you might not be able to be here for very long. You missed Stanley unless you already saw him. He's had his cookie. He refused carrots, and he said cookie instead. Yes. No more cookies. Okay. We now have our butter back into liquid form, so we're going to get started. Let's get this switched. There we go. My newest purchase. Thank you, Ropeman, for letting us budget for this. So I'm just kind of stirring the butter here. I want to get all of the little browned bits in there. Into the bowl it goes. Okay, we're going to let it sit there for a little bit. I want it to cool just a bit before we get started mixing it. And with butter, you don't have to brown it. You don't even have to melt it. I just recently read in this new cookbook I've been using, and I made cookies out of there a couple weeks ago, that if you want your cookie to be not as thick and small, you want it to spread out a little bit more, he recommends using melted butter. And then I've also been experimenting with brown butter in my cookies. It doesn't work with all cookies, but it definitely does more of a, they call them drop cookies, so something that you're going to scoop up and drop onto your cookie sheet. So I look at a chocolate chip cookie and think that that is the perfect option for it. This is still fairly warm. I'm going to throw it in the fridge. I don't want it to be too warm when we bake with it. That's right, Stanley. You do not get any more cookies right now. We're going to let that chill in there for a little bit. And in the meantime, we're going to get our flour measured out so it's ready to go. Okay. So don't need too big of a bowl with the flour. So this recipe I have made so many times, I have it memorized. I don't even need to look at the recipe anymore. So we do 2 1/4 cups of flour. I know in past streams I have measured my flour. Nestle Toll House is not nearly as particular with their measurements, so we're just going to do my little scoop and dump. There, you can kind of see all of it now. Still getting the kinks out with this new monitor setup. Oh, hey, Drew, how are you? Thank you for stopping in. I'm going to have to actually pay attention to my chat today because Ropeman has some things to take care of this afternoon. And now y'all are talking Spanish. I mean, geez, that cultured for some reason. Ropeman likes to think he's cultured sometimes. I actually have to mod for myself a little bit. There we go, Drew. Welcome on in. Glad you could join. And Ropeman, yeah, I know. You'll see Stanley when you get home. He's Stanley. He's upset that he's not being snuggled in the way that he wants, in a way that he can ignore me if he so chooses. Okay. And that's it for the flour. Excuse me while I hydrate there. I didn't get near enough water in at work, so trying to correct that now. Just getting an additional measuring cup out for later. So we've got that. Now we need a teaspoon of salt. Salt's starting to clump a little bit. I'm gonna have to shake that up a little bit later. Ugh. Or now, apparently, according to this. Break those lumps up. I thought I'd be fun and buy sea salt. I don't know that I'll do that again. It just clumps way too easily. I think I'll go back to just my regular salt. And we also need some baking soda. Let's see. I suppose I could give Ropeman a shout out. I mean, all hail the Cookie Queen. I like it. Ropeman the Jester. I think that needs to stick there. Get a couple of shout outs here before I get too far. But thank you, Vaping, for stopping in. I appreciate it. I know you've got your stream tonight with Ropeman, and you're probably finishing up work. There you go. And let's see. That's about it for this part of it. I'm going to give it a little stir so everything is mixed in. I should move my mouse out of the way so that it doesn't get covered in flour. But yeah, this is an oldie but a goodie for recipes. My mom and my sister and I made these pretty much every week. And it wasn't just a single recipe. You would do a double batch every week, especially in the summer when we were home from school. We just went through that much cookies. Other than Angel Food cakes, chocolate chip cookies were about the only sweet we ever had in the house. So, iced chocolate too. But my mom did not buy a lot of chocolate back in those days. So, your choices were, cookies, ice cream, or Angel Food cake if she made one. And ice cream isn't as easy to eat. So, the cookies worked well when we were helping Dad out in the field because you could just throw a handful of them into a baggie and throw them in the cooler and have them for the farm lunch. And yes, on the farm, lunch is your morning snack you have at 10 a.m. with a can of pop. Not your noontime meal. It is a snack. So whenever we go to visit my folks, we always have to be very clear about what meal we're talking about when we talk about we're going to have lunch and we're going to have dinner and we're going to have supper. Because again, farm life, lunch is a snack. All right, so we're going to set our flour aside. We don't need that for a little bit. Okay, we've got our butter. It's still a touch warm, but once we get the sugars in there, it'll be fine. Plus, we're actually going to chill this for a little bit, and I think I'm going to try and sneak in a little bit of crafting in between there while that's going. But I still promise, Ropeman, you will be done in time for your stream tonight. Okay. First off, the regular sugar. Let's see. Still trying to figure out the orientation of my camera. That's a little better. Almost put sugar in here, but got just enough for today. And we'll dump a little bit more. There, that looks good. And I need a spoon. So with brown sugar, the trick is you want to pack it on in there and make it as full as you can. And I think I need to add a little piece of bread to this. My brown sugar is getting a little firm. So yeah, fun trick if you didn't know that. If your brown sugar or regular sugar, any sugar, honestly, gets really hard and turns into a brick, throw a slice of bread in with it. Close the lid, wait about 24 hours, and you'll have nice soft sugar again. That did not pack as good as I wanted to. We're going to use some good old-fashioned muscles down here and try and get that in a little bit tighter. It's a good firm pack. When you drop it in, it will retain the shape of the measuring cup. So it sort of did there. But yeah, thankful for it to be Friday. It was kind of a chaotic start to the week at work, and then the last couple of days haven't been too bad. A little bit of a late night last night, but with healthcare, that just happens sometimes. It's beyond our control. Okay, here's our 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Now it's time for some vanilla. My computer is I don't know if it's confused or what, but it's got chat up there twice, even though I only opened it once. So if I'm looking at it funny, it's just because I'm trying to make sense of where it left off. But there is our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Trying to be good about putting stuff away as I finish using it. Stanley, would you like a carrot? Would you like a carrot? Here. Say hi. No, you don't get the cookie. Yeah. Carrot? No, you don't want a carrot? Are you picky now? Only sweets for the dog? Sorry. You had your cookie. You're done. There's your carrot if you want it. He begrudgingly accepted it, by the way, if anyone was wondering. Okay. Now time to mix this up. make sure I get all of those sugar lumps out of there. All right, next we add our eggs. Stanley! I almost tripped over the dog. He tends to like to stay nice and close when I'm cooking in the kitchen. What if I would drop something? That is his motto in life. What if mom or dad drop something when they're in the kitchen? I'm going to get the other egg ready to go. Just getting another drink of my liquid IV. Again, trying to stay hydrated. Oh, I figured out what I did on my computer. I had something pulled up that was showing the chat twice. Well, no wonder I was getting confused. All right, there you go. Problem solved. Time to mix in some eggs. First egg mixed in. You can kind of see the little flecks of the brown butter in there. It almost looks like little drops of pepper. Pull it nice and close. I don't know if it'll focus real well for you, but I think you can see them. We'll get our other egg in there. Ropeman and I are having to slum it with eggs. We had to actually buy eggs. Normally we get all of our eggs fresh from the farm. But we're going there next weekend. We'll get our kitchen stocked up again on some good farm fresh eggs. Alright, that looks good. Nice and mixed in there. Now we'll just gradually add the flour in. A couple of ways you can do that. You can just take your bowl and dump a little bit at a time. You can also take a spoon and mix it in. Rinse that off. I'm actually going to use this later. So I think I'm just going to use a little measuring cup here and gradually mix it in. So a lot of times I use my stand mixer when I'm doing cookies because then I can do all the mixing hands-free, but I wanted a bowl with a lid on it today because I'm going to be putting this in the, actually I'm going to put it in the freezer to chill for about 30 minutes, and the rationale behind that is if the butter is still a little bit warm in the dough, well, one, it makes the dough a little warm, but it causes the cookie to spread out a little bit too much in the oven and might have too flat of a cookie. So it's a delicate balance. Oh no! You didn't miss much, Ropeman. I gave Stanley a carrot, even though he wouldn't take it on screen. He decided when he couldn't have a cookie, then, well, carrot was good enough. But I get it. You got work to do. It's a Friday. I am loving the fact that I have Friday afternoons off. They're usually the worst day of the week next to Monday. Because Monday you're dealing with all the carry-through from the weekend. And in healthcare, it's all the people that decided they were going to just wait until Monday to deal with whatever health issues developed over the weekend. Friday, it's the, hey, the weekend's coming. I haven't been feeling good all week. Fix it, make it better so that I can have a good weekend. That, and it's the other thing that always happens is people are taking their pills first thing Friday morning and suddenly realize they're out of meds and the clinic is closed on the weekend. So if they want to take their medication over the weekend, they need it now. So we get lots of calls on either of those sides of the spectrum. So with flour, you want to be careful not to overmix. You overactivate the glutens in there, and you're going to end up with a really tough cookie. No tough cookies. But we're getting there. A couple more additions here. Now that it's getting a little harder to stir, I actually have to turn it off and go a little bit more flour now just to get it mixed in. Oh yeah, your meds are automatic every 90 days. Yeah, so the issue, Drew, it's usually the controlled substances that can't get refills put on them automatic when you have to call your doctor's office every month for. Those are usually what everybody is begging for the end of the 90 days, or the 90 days, the end of the week. And those are usually the ones that have, ramifications if people can't take them, whether it's a pain medication and then they spend their weekend in pain, or medications like ADHD, especially if someone has to work or they're a student and they have a ton of homework to do over the weekend. Obviously that really, interferes with their ability to focus. So it's tough on them when their refill hits on a weekend. And I had to laugh. I told someone, like, well, you got to ask for your ADHD med, 3 days in advance. You can't just call me at 3 o'clock on a Friday. And the person had a great comeback for it. They told me, well, if I could remember that, I probably wouldn't need the meds anymore, which I ain't fair. Give that cookie dough a little try. That's good cookie dough, puppy. Oh, you want outside? All right. Pardon me for just a moment while I let the dog outside. All right. Dog temporarily taken care of. What's going on? What have I missed? Anything? Nope, nothing new here. Okay, well, get my mixer put away. So one thing I love about chocolate chip cookies, other than, they're chocolate chip cookies, is they are so fast and easy to prep. I mean, look at that. Barely been going a half hour. We've already got the cookies mostly ready to go. We are going to do one fancy thing with them, though, today. I've got a bunch of baking chocolate, and I recently saw a video on YouTube with chocolate chip cookies that instead of using the morsels, if you chop up a variety of baking chocolates, and you can see I've got 3 different ones here, then the little flakes of it will melt into your batter as it bakes, and your cookie actually, the part of it that doesn't have the chunks of chocolate has melted chocolate into it. So I'm curious to see what that tastes like. So we're going to give this a whirl. We've got bittersweet chocolate, we have semi-sweet chocolate, and we have some white chocolate. White chocolate isn't my favorite, but I had a little bit left over from that amazing cheesecake I made last week and thought this would be a perfect option. Ooh, what kind of pizza? Does Pizza Social do takeout? You've been talking about that all week, so now I kind of want Pizza Social. I have no idea what kind of pizza they have there, if it's anything that you'd want to bring home. But yeah, Friday night pizza, have a little beer to unwind. I'll watch hockey. Ropeman will be on the Pixels and Pint podcast starting at 7 p.m. Sardine. Oh, no sardines. No. That's a hard no, along with pineapple. God, do not put pineapple on my pizza. I know some people love it, and Ropeman is one of them, but no cooked pineapple ever anywhere in my food. I will eat uncooked pineapple happily, but not cooked. No, thank you. Probably you can do that, Rope. Yeah, let me know. I'll try and pay attention to chat here. And at the moment, I gotta go let the dog in. Give me just a moment. Okay, we're gonna start with the white chocolate. Vaping, okay. Oh, not a fan yourself. Good old-fashioned deep dish pepperoni. Pepperoni's fine with me as long as it's not super spicy pepperoni. And again, that just goes to I have a bit of a sensitive stomach, and I'm very prone to acid reflux if I eat too much spicy foods or too much processed foods. What is it, Stanley? Do you wish to see your adoring public? You can't really see them, but they can see you. Say hi. Yeah. There's the dog. He says hi. Okay, you want some carrot? Yes, if you're going to eat table food, you're going to eat healthy table food. There you go. Nope. No, I'm not giving you anything else. That's it. It's amazing how acceptable a carrot is when nothing else is forthcoming. He looks at it, he's like, no, I don't really want that until you're not going to give me anything else. And then, okay, fine. I'll accept it if I must. At least that's what I imagine is going on in his little puppy mind. All right, white chocolate. I'm going to cut this up a little differently than I did the cheesecake, mainly because I want this to be in a little bit bigger chunks. So yes, you did hear me cutting, but it's not for you. No, sorry, Stanley. He's very much a believer of all food things belong to him. Where's the beef? Yeah, he would love it if it was beef, if it was... What else? Any sort of meat. Let's be realistic here. I'm just trying to get this on screen a little bit more. Hey, new camera setup, still getting used to it. There, that works. Might have to rotate the camera next time a little bit. But it is trial and error sometimes, especially with new equipment. Trying to figure out what works best. Stanley would also love it if I just had, like unlimited milk bones, cookies, cakes, bread. He likes all the good stuff. All right, we've got the white chocolate. I'm actually just going to push that right into my cookie dough. This is a little bit thinner than the white chocolate was. It's just breaking up on its own to an extent. Trying not to get too uniform with the cut on this. I think having chunks of all sizes would make the cookies taste pretty good. But, all right, while I'm cutting this up, I'd let everyone know that Ropeman and I will be doing a cooking collaboration tomorrow night. We don't have an exact start time yet, but I told Ropeman I've been wanting to make fresh pasta. I haven't done that in years. No, maybe not, maybe a year. It's been a while. Let's just go with that. And he thought it would be fun if the two of us got together. We've been talking about it anyway, but thought pasta would be a fun two-person cooking stream. So, tomorrow night, cooking with Ropeman and Crafty. We're going to make a fresh pesto shrimp pasta. We'll do fresh pasta, fresh pesto. Ropeman will cook some shrimp. We'll throw it all together and have one heck of a good meal open up a bottle of wine, and just have a relaxing Saturday night. So you can see all the little slivers of chocolate there. Supposedly that's what's going to melt into the cookie and give it a more chocolatey flavor. So, to be determined if it actually works. And he thinks he needs to go outside again. He gets into these modes, especially when we're dealing with no snow in the backyard. He thinks he must constantly patrol to make sure the rabbits don't invade. He is very, very anti-rabbit. So I apologize if anyone watching thinks that rabbits are adorable, sweet creatures. Stanley believes they are lunch. Don't you? Yeah. Get these in here. All right. Pretty sure that was the bittersweet, judging by the color of it. So this should be the semi-sweet. So. Throw some garbage away here. We'll see what this is like. I've never made cookies by chopping up my own chocolate like this, so this is definitely new for me. I do notice that these thinner bars like crack on their own quite a bit easier than the thicker white chocolate bar did. I'm assuming that's to be expected. I don't think it's a problem at all. And there we go. Just keep on chopping. Watch myself there. I got a little carried away with the knife. Don't need that. Not at all. So anyone else have fun plans for the night other than, of course, watching the Pixels and Pint podcast? I know I will be there. It's always fun to watch you three guys chat about video games I know nothing about. And, I pick on Rope Man a little bit because, that's just a thing that I do. And he has never said he has a problem with it, so I will keep on doing it. Just going to brush off as much of these chocolate flakes as I can. There we go. Just give that a little stir, get it all mixed up in there. The dough has actually got pretty good consistency considering the butter was a bit warm. Still going to throw it in the freezer for like 15 minutes, but I don't think that'll be long enough to get any of the crafting projects out. So we'll just spend that time chatting and getting everything ready. If I stopped picking on you, Rope Man, you'd be worried. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Look at that. It's a little less than a bag of chocolate chips would have weighed, but I think that's a pretty good mix in there. I'm happy with it. Okay. I'm going to get that covered. And I'm going to go throw that in the freezer for a little bit just to chill it up. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to move my camera down just a little bit here. And the reason for that is that you have a little better view of what I am doing with the cookie dough out of the bowl once it's ready. Yes, Danny, I do see you there. Hi. And once again, Stanley Pupper. The doggiest dog of all. The most adorable dog in the house. Yeah, I think I might have gotten that a little too far. Yeah, we'll give that a whirl once I get started on things. Do you want a milk bone? How about a smart bone? Or should I give you a greenie to freshen your breath? I vote for greenie. Okay. Greenie. Okay. I have a greenie for Stanley the puppy. Come here. We're going to set that on the counter. Oh. And presenting Stanley the dog and his greenie. Oh, okay. Yep. All right. Bye-bye, puppy. All right, just going to get my hands washed. All right. Hydrating again. I plan to have an adult beverage or two tonight to wind down, so hydrate now. Oh, hey, Fancy Feast. Glad you could join us. Sign you up for that. Yep. It is pretty nice that Roteman has me to do all this stuff for him. So it helps that I love it. All right, getting a little cleanup. I think I need to wipe down my countertop a little bit. Yeah, Roteman is pretty lucky. He knows it. He knows it. And when he pretends he doesn't know it, I remind him of it. Okay, I got that all cleaned up. I'm going to turn my oven on now, get that heating up. Hi, Stanley. Just check one thing. I do need that a little warmer. There we go. All right, let's see. Pretty calm in chat at the moment, so we're going to go ahead and keep getting some stuff set up for our cookie baking. Excuse me. So I've got my baking sheets here. Let's see. And again, I apologize. I have my camera on the screen rotated, so left is right and up is down, and it's just throwing me off very badly. Okay, there we go. So I've got my silicone baking mats on my cookie sheets. I do this instead of parchment paper. It helps the cookie brown a little bit nicer. And with chocolate chip cookies, I bake them much slower. I know some of the other cookies I've baked, I've done 2 pans at a time. This one is when I just do 1 pan at a time. I'm willing to take my time to get those cookies to bake up a little bit more evenly. So I've got my cookie scoop here. And I'm going to give this until the oven is ready, and then we'll start making our cookies. So, yeah. Trying to think anything else announcement-wise. I'm going to start working on trying to get a more established streaming schedule. Hey, Jokester. Glad you could join us. Get you a shout out here. Okay. Nightbot. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ropeman. You're such a good moderator. Appreciate it. So, anyone planning to watch the Super Bowl this weekend? I have kind of lost interest in it. Honestly, the whole Taylor Swift drama just kind of ruined football for me the last part of the year. So, I might watch it a little bit. Not entirely sure. But if I do watch it, it would strictly be for the commercials. Honestly, that's all I ever do. Hey, Star-Lord. Glad. Yeah, Brokeman, I know you were streaming during the Super Bowl because you had asked me if I wanted to join you. And we never actually discussed that, if we want to do a group thing or not, or if Saturday night is enough group things for us. So we can figure out those details. Oh, Joester, you're just headed to work? Do you have kind of off-shift work that you have to take care of? Or I don't even know where you're located out of, so maybe it's normal work time for you. I mean, I used to do those crazy weird hour shifts. But, yeah, glad everybody could join us. And, as you see on there, Ropeman will be streaming on Sunday evening, so drop on in. Oh, 7 a.m. for you. Yeah, so that is normal work time. So have fun at work. Hopefully you have a good day. I know I am probably going to sleep in a little bit, but, with Stanley, that means he'll let me sleep until 7 a.m., demand I let him outside, and then ask to cuddle on the couch with me for like 2 hours so he can sleep some more. Oh, you got 1 yard to cut. Okay. But definitely are someplace warmer than we have grass that we can see, but it's definitely not growing at this point. And I guess it'll be here soon enough for us. I mean, in Minnesota, to have no snow on the ground the first week of February, it's insanely weird. It's really just bizarre. So we actually got rain yesterday, and it felt more like April, honestly, than February here. So I'm hoping that means good things in early spring. As soon as the mornings warm up to above 40 degrees, Ropeman and I will start going for runs with Stanley. Stanley's looking forward to that. He gets very cranky when we run without him. He's very much a do not leave me out puppy. Yeah, you don't like to be left out, do you? As he's back, I swear he knows I'm talking. Yeah. Say hi again. Oops. And I'm moving the wrong direction on camera. There we go. Say hi. Yeah, okay, a kiss. Stanley, kiss. Kiss. No, you're more interested in finding crumbs, I know. I know how it is. It's all about the crumbs. Yeah. It's always all about the crumbs for you. What do you see out there? He's staring out the window, if anyone was wondering. Making sure nothing moves that's not supposed to in there. Do you want to go check it out? All right, you go check it out. No. That was not code for I'm going to give you something. Sorry. You want crumbs, Ropeman. You get the real stuff. You don't need crumbs. Stanley, on the other hand, lives for crumbs. He'll find them whether they're there or not. Isn't that right, little pup? Oh, I almost forgot one thing. I bought the sea salt that I told you about, Ropeman. We're going to try this. So, the new cookie book that I have been reading and done some recipes out of, certain recipes call for putting some sea salt flakes on top of your cookie dough before you bake them. You need crumbs, you're starving down there? Well, that's no good. We can't have you starving. No. I'd say you could come and visit, but that's not such a good idea, I'm sure, still. I don't know that car rides are any better for you guys than they were before. Yeah. Mr. Stan the Man? Yeah. Oh, he's whining very sadly on here. You're neat. Yeah. Oh, there's the oven. The oven's ready, Mr. Stanley. Yeah, the oven's ready. I'm going to have to go get the cookie dough. Can I put you down? I will. You won't like it, but I will. Yeah. All right. I gotta wash my hands. I don't like to handle cookie dough with dirty hands. Okay, I will be right back with some cookie dough. Excuse me, little pup. All right, as promised, cookie dough. Let's see. We're going to sort of share the screen here. It'll be fine. So, cookie dough is cool. It's not overly cold, which is actually fine. I don't like it when it gets really hard. It's a little harder on my hands to scoop up. So, I think I'll keep it in the fridge between batches of cookies to try and keep it cool so it doesn't get too warm in the kitchen here. But should make about 4 or 5 dozen cookies usually. I'm not sure if the melted butter will actually change that and make it more or less. We'll see. She's very cute. Yo, of course she's very cute. I wouldn't expect anything else, even if she's got her uncle's morning activity where Ropeman is very he's a chirp. What is it? Not chirpy, but he's a very happy morning person. He likes to talk and do stuff. Whereas for me, give me like an hour and a half before you try and talk to me. I don't need coffee. I just need to wake up. At 5:30 a.m. on the dot. Oh, that's tough, especially if you have a rough night and you want to get some extra sleep. Little stinker. Is she at least getting mostly through the night now for you so that you don't have to get up as often? I'm hoping that's common. I mean, she's way too close to being a year old. I'm not okay with that. I'm sure it's gone by in a flash for you, too. Stanley's just staring out the window. I'm not exactly sure. I think he's just watching. I don't think he actually wants to go out. He learned neighborhood watch, and he just loves to stare out the windows now. We've got benches. We've got a bench in our office so that he can look out the window. In the living room, he literally just drapes himself across the back of the couch so that he can see. And then in the loft, he will usually climb up on our recliners, and he'll come up to the arm of the recliner and stare out the window that way. She's up at 2 to 3 to eat. Okay. Yeah. I'm just glad that she's over that colic. That was rough on you guys. So that's good. She'll sleep through the entire night before you know it, and I'm not going to say you'll look back on those days like it was a dream, but you won't quite remember how that felt. There we go. I'm just spacing my cookies out a little bit more evenly so that when they do spread out, they don't kind of run into each other as much. Okay. Now we're going to try this. Let's see. I'm going to use a spoon. Real quick, I'm going to throw this in the fridge while I do it so it stays nice and cold. There. Let's see here. So it's really flaky sea salt, so I'm just going to put it in my hand. Just kind of put a few, well, maybe if they'll stay on the cookies. I don't want this stuff running all over the place. It was, believe it or not, flaked sea salt is not cheap. So if this doesn't do like incredible things to these cookies, I probably won't buy it again. But I wanted to at least try it once. And by once, I mean $1. There we go. A little bit more there. I don't want to put too much. I don't want it to overpower it, but I'm assuming it's going to spread a little bit as the cookie bakes. Just pour the rest into this little cup here for later. All right. First batch going in. All right, we'll set that timer for 10 minutes. Give it a check at that point. All right, before I move on to the next pan, I am going to get my my baking racks set up so that I can cool the cookies when they get out. Yes, Stanley, I know, you're adorable. You always have. Okay. Might have to do a little rearranging down the road, but for now, this will work. So I've got my baking rack just kind of lining along the countertop here. Extra cooling sheet, so I'll eventually just have it sitting right here for the cookie sheet to cool, because I generally run out of space in here. And then I'll line it with some wax paper. All right. Well, that was easy. All right, yeah, that's fun. Okay, just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Trying to be paying more attention. I'm so used to just baking and going. Okay. Out comes the cookie dough again. Unfortunately, this time I don't have quite as much room to move things around, so... And it'll be what it'll be, right? That's right. 2... Yeah, it's not perfect, but meh. I'm okay with that. I really am. I wonder. Is that any better? Meh. I don't know if that's better or not, but we'll go for it. Go with it for a little while. Why not? Got to try things to figure out if you like them. So one thing I will say with doing the chunks of chocolate is it definitely makes it harder to get my cookie scoop full. But that's not the worst thing in the world. And I did actually, you know, I made these a little bit bigger now that I'm thinking of them. I have a new cookie scoop that's a little bigger, so I might not get quite as many cookies as I thought out of the recipe, which that's okay. A bigger cookie to snack on. I'm not going to complain. And no, you still don't get these, Stanley. They have chocolate in them, and that's not good for the puppy. No. There's that. I'm just kind of pushing them back together if they're falling apart here. But definitely, I think I'm actually going to throw the cookie dough back in the freezer between the next two pans just to get it a little more firm. It is getting a little soft. A little softer than I'd like it to be. We shall have cookies when you come home, Rope Man. And if you don't hurry home, I'll sample on screen before you get here. But no rush, of course. Finish your day up. Do what you need to do so you can have a relaxing weekend. Last thing anyone wants is work stuff hanging over their heads on a Friday night and thinking about it all night. That wouldn't be very fun. All right. Oof, that wind is really starting to howl over here. Ooh, do I want Detroit style or wood fired? I'm thinking the Detroit, not the Detroit style, sorry. Because I think that's a pretty thick crust. I'd rather try the wood fire. You do the Detroit another night, just not feeling the really heavy crust. And as far as toppings, you know what I like and what I don't like. Yeah, this definitely isn't going to make 5 dozen cookies. Which is okay. You know, I'd rather make cookies more often and have smaller quantities of them, honestly. They just stay fresh better, softer, chewier, the whole 9 yards. Okay. That pan is done. I am going to go put this in the freezer. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of that salt on these too. I think I'll do first 2 pans with salt and then do 2 pans without and see what we think of the difference. I'd rather do it that way in case we hate the salt on there. Although I've had cookies with salt on the top of them, and usually I like it. It's just that little bit of salty on top of the sweet just kind of breaks it up a little bit. Oh, I'll need to download the menu and tell you which one I want. Okay. Oh, Fancy's Detroit style. I just don't want that thick of a crust tonight, that's all. One day I'll try it. But there we go. Oh, I already got some in there. Okay. Well, put some on there. And there we go. Oh, Fancy's, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you can remember, but it basically, a Detroit style reminds me of a deep dish form of like the Bigfoot pizza that Pizza Hut used to have. So that's my view of it. It might not be an exact description of it, but yeah, so it's square like the Pizza Hut Bigfoot pizza used to be, but it's really thick. I think it's even thicker than like the Pizza Hut pan pizza usually is. Yeah, exactly. Way too heavy for me. I'm going to see if Stanley wants out. I'll be right back. Yeah? You want out there or not? Oh, okay. So, Stanley just wants to do the neighborhood watch thing. So, all right, I got to look up this pizza place and figure out what kind of pizza I want. Let's see, pizza. And so, Fancy Feast, this is a local place in Apple Valley, just like a block away from where Ropeman's office is. Yes, I know you want things. And I'm talking to the dog. Okay, menu. Yes, I hear you, Stanley. The poor puppy is making just such sad noises here for everyone who can't hear him. His life is just so sad. Yeah, that's right, Stanley. I know you think your life is so sad. They definitely have some interesting pizzas. They have one with sriracha on it. Not my thing, but... Oop, we'll take care of this in a minute. Ooh, yeah, those are much bigger cookies than I was expecting. Not complaining, just commenting. Okay, just need a little bit. So, I think they're going to take a little longer to cook. Chocolate chip cookies kind of vary. Depends on the day. Usually somewhere between 11 and 15 minutes. So we're right at 10 minutes. We're going to do another 3. Yes, Stanley. I have to send Dad my dinner order. Yeah. My guess is he already knows which one I want, but I'm going to let him know. Yeah. It's called the Porky Fig. And it is prosciutto, ricotta, fig jam, balsamic caramelized red onions, and blue cheese crumbles. So that is going to be a interesting pizza. Oh, hey! Hey, Darth, glad you could join us. Yes, yummy cookies. I've got one pan in the oven, another pan here ready to go. Just waiting on that to finish up. I have the dough in the freezer because it's a little soft, so I want to make sure the cookies don't spread out too much as I'm baking them, as, you know, that dough just fell off right there. Push that back here. Stanley, would you like to come back on stream? Yes. In truth, he doesn't really want on stream so much as he wants me to give him stuff. Let's see. Thank you for getting that shout out there, Ropeman. Ropeman, I just sent you a message with the pie, but I want the porky fig. Did you get it? But yes, there's Mr. Stan the man. No, you cannot have those cookies. I gave you one of your own cookies already. And yes, that's right, Fancy Face. I make Stanley his own cookies. They are super easy to do. So basically when I have a bad banana, he gets cookies. Yeah. You love them. Yes, you do. Okay, good. You got it, Ropeman. Awesome. Awesome. I thought that sounded like an interesting pizza. So we'll give that a whirl. Should we look at the oven cup? Let's see. Where's it? Oh yeah, that's done. Okay. Gonna do some moving around here. Just kind of getting some stuff out of the way. And there is our first pan of cookies. They look delicious, Stanley. All right. Second batch in there. I'm going to get another pot holder so that's ready to go here. So I let my cookies cool on the cookie sheets for about 2 minutes. What is it? Oh, banana pancakes. Yeah, I could make him banana pancakes too. Yep. Believe it or not, I'm not a huge fan of banana pancakes. I've had them. My brother and sister-in-law have made those before, and their kids love them. I just prefer a traditional buttermilk pancake. That's all. Stanley does like banana bread too, though. Yeah. You make banana bread, you cut a slice off, you go sit down at the table, and there's a dog sitting alert next to you just saying, I'm a good boy, I'm a good boy, give me something. And Ropeman, if you want banana pancakes, I'm happy to make them for you. You've just never asked. Do you want out now? Go ahead. Time for Stanley to patrol the lawn again. So he'll make sure no vermin get in. All right. Tell ya, those cookies look amazing. And so just looking at them, they're crinkly on the top. I think that is actually from having the butter be melted. At least from what I've read, that's what it's supposed. That's one of the things that it can do. All right, water good. I've realized that when I'm streaming, I am really bad about drinking water. Let's see. You're asking now for Sunday morning. Well, you know, we do actually have a banana that's probably ripe enough to do that. So I will get the recipe from my brother and figure out how to do those for you. So, see, all you have to do is ask. All right, it's been 2 minutes. I just go based on the timer that I set on the oven. So 2 minutes has passed. And Stanley's back at the door, but he's just going to have to wait. Because cookies take precedence over puppy. These do leave a bit of a oily chocolate residue on the bottom here. I'll have to wipe that off before I do my next batch of cookies. I don't want that to get burnt on in the oven. I think I'll just take a wet rag and wipe it off. But, oh, those cookies look and smell amazing. One of these days, Fancy Feast, I'll get down to your house and try and bring you something good to eat. Or make you something good while we're there. So I think you know by now I love to cook, love to bake. Okay, I've got those off here. Stanley is ready to come back in. I'm going to let him in. All right. So as I'm just going to wipe off as much of that greasy, I shouldn't say greasy, much of the melted cookie as I can. One thing I have found when I'm working with browned butter in a cookie is the bottom of the cookie does tend to have a little bit more of that butter residue on it. So, Valkyrie, welcome on in. Glad you could join us. Thank you, Ropeman, for getting her a shout out. All right, Valkyrie, for you, before I start the next pan of cookies, come here. Stan the man. Yeah, Valkyrie's on there. Yeah, Valkyrie's looking. Yes. Yeah, see? Such a cute puppy. You want a carrot? Oh, I know you'd rather have a cookie, but you're not allowed to have those. So, there you go. You got your vegetable. There we go. Stanley's got his carrot. He is a huge fan of vegetables, so that's actually a treat to him. All right. Valkyrie, I'm so glad you could jump in. How's your Friday going? Oh, your dog loves carrots too? Yeah. Stanley also loves celery. He likes green beans, bananas, watermelon. He just goes nuts for watermelon. I'm not a huge fan myself, but in the summer I'll buy small ones at the farmer's market, cut it up into chunks, and him and Stanley will just sit outside on the patio and eat watermelon together. No, I'm not giving you watermelon now. No, you're fine. No, you're fine. He thinks he needs more food. All right, let me go get the cookie dough. Excuse me. I'll be right back. All right, and we've been keeping the cookie dough in the freezer so that it doesn't get too warm. We've already got our first pan of cookies out. Friday going good, eating some dinner, nice. You know, Fridays are now my half days, and I am loving that. I get out of the office before all the chaos hits the fan, so I am loving that. Ropeman, unfortunately, has to work all day, so he gets to deal with all of the chaos of the end of the day on Friday. Yep, been in day. Yeah, ready for a beer. Yeah. I'd say something stronger than that, but with you guys doing the Pixels and Pint podcast, it's not a good idea to go stronger than beer, but there's plenty of beer chilled for you at home. Plus, Ropeman, there are some delicious-looking cookies here for dessert. We'll come home. You'll bring the pizza. We'll walk the dog. I better not say that too loud because he's going to think he gets that right now. And then I won't hear the end of it. Also, the freezer definitely worked. The cookie dough is much firmer than it was a little bit ago. So that is good. Tell you, Ropeman, staring at these cookies, it's tempting to just eat one right now, but I will wait for you. I will enjoy these with you when you get home. We'll have our dessert together. Oh, you two would love a beer. Oh, you're stopping for new beer. But PBR is not good enough for you? Oh, actually, I do actually agree. You do not have a lot of variety in there. Most of the beer in the fridge is mine at the moment. Which I'm actually thinking I'm going to break out the Dangerous Man peanut butter porter tonight. That sounds really good. And a Fancy Feast. One of these days you'll be able to have beer again. If you want it. I don't know if beer was causing you trouble before the baby or not. I know you have to watch it with certain things, so. PBR is awesome. Yeah, I know you just want variety. Like I said, you don't have much variety in the fridge right now. Most of the beer is stuff I like. I just drink beer much slower than Rope Man. Which there's nothing wrong with that. Besides that, I am a ultra lightweight when it comes to alcohol. We went to a brewery 2 weekends ago, and I tried one of their beers that was like 10.5%, and all I had to drink that, and I wasn't allowed to drive anymore. So I didn't even have a very big pour of that. You drink one occasionally. I agree PBR is trash. I don't care for it, but Rope Man enjoys those every once in a while. I think your guys' dad does too, so not my thing. I'd rather have a good craft beer. Truthfully, if I'm going to drink something, you know, a little more basic, I'm going to go for like a Miller Lite, Mich Golden, Mich Ultra, Coors Light. All right, those need a few more minutes now. They are looking good. The coffee one. Oh, you know, now that you mention, I do think I've seen that advertised. There is a brewery here in Minnesota called Bigwood Brewing that they have a coffee stout that I will get periodically called Morningwood. And I find the name funny. So, Surly also has a coffee bender, but I like the Bigwood one better. But it's definitely a seasonal beer for me. I don't want it all that often. Oh, thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. What are you up to tonight? How late is it there for you? Because I know you are in a very different time zone than me. I don't know. Is it Saturday morning there for you? All right, almost there. Yeah, it's only going to give me about a little over 3 dozen cookies, which is actually perfect. I really don't need much more than that. Okay. Let's see, we'll kind of shove that little bit extra right there. This can go right there. Oh, 10:45 in. Yep. I thought so. I thought so with the time difference for you. That's just so weird to think about, but glad that it works out for you to stop on in. Appreciate it. We've got chocolate chip cookies going here. I've got one batch out of the oven, another one about ready to come out. And it looks like it's just about there. I want to give it like 1 more minute. But yeah, we played around. It's just the good old Nestle Toll House recipe, except I browned the butter, left it in a melted form, and then I chopped up baking chocolate instead of using chocolate chips, because I saw in a video on YouTube that the little slivers of chocolate, when they bake in the cookie, they melt, and then your cookie tastes like chocolate. So win-win in my opinion. And I love cookies in general. I always have. I was talking earlier, I grew up, my mom always was making chocolate chip cookies. And in the summer times, we pretty much made a double batch of chocolate chip cookies every week because we went through them so quickly. Yeah, I got my little Stan the Man roaming around beside me. Let's see, how did this look? Okay, they're done. I'm going to do a swap. There they are. Ta-da! They look gorgeous too. Okay, now those need to cool for about 2 minutes before we can take them off. Yeah, they do look really good. They smell amazing. I told Ropeman I'm going to wait until he gets home from work tonight and we'll sample the cookies together. Stanley would love to sample them now, but I've explained to him multiple times that, unfortunately, chocolate is dangerous for puppies. Not that he really cares. Hey, you want to say hi again? We've got 2 minutes. Yeah. There he is again. Yeah, Stanley loves attention. He's definitely... No, you don't get that close to the cookies. I definitely consider him to be my dog more than Ropeman's dog, even though he's our dog. He's a mama's boy. Yes, you are. No, you can't have those. Yeah. Okay. Good boy. One more carrot. You ready? Up. Good boy. Go. No, that's it. No more. It's the carrot or nothing. He doesn't believe me. He'll eventually eat it. Oh, yeah, he is definitely eyeing the cookies. He's a huge cookie fan. I actually make him doggy safe cookies every so often that have banana, peanut butter, and oatmeal in them. So that's, I think, what he really wants me to give him, although he's already had one of those this afternoon. So he doesn't need any more. We got to keep him nice and slim. Sorry, he's eating the cookie and it's going everywhere. It's rather amusing. Another minute on there, but you got any fun plans for your weekend? It's still new enough to your streams. I don't know if you have a set schedule for streaming or it's just more of a as you have time. But yeah, for everyone on here, Ambrose had just recently made affiliate on Twitch, so go check her out. It is definitely getting warm over here standing over these cookies. There we go, okay. Get those on the cooling rack. Let's see. Here. Yeah, I tell you, these cookies came out a lot faster than I was expecting. I figured I'd be baking cookies until like 5 o'clock at the earliest. So it's kind of nice that the recipe didn't make as much with the browned butter melted in there. Let's see, gaming today, then work tomorrow. Okay, yeah. I remember those days of working on the weekend. I'm glad I don't have to anymore. Truthfully, I put in my time over the years, so I get to enjoy my weekends to myself now. But I'm going to go ahead and wipe off the chocolate residue here because I've got 2 more cookies that I'm going to have to bake on this sheet. I don't want to have burnt chocolate on there. There we go. All right, I'm going to let that cool. I'm not going to put the other pieces of cookie dough on there until the timer's probably almost done. So But yeah, let's see. Ooh, what's going on? Doorknobs, thank you for joining. Yeah, same Rosie. So I'm a nurse. I don't know if I've mentioned that. So for 8 years, I used to work inpatient pediatrics at a children's hospital, and every third weekend, I had to do 12-hour shifts, day shift alternating with night shift. So yeah, I don't miss the long hours and the long weekends and nights, but I did love my time in pediatrics. I really enjoyed working with the kids. So let's see. Get you a shout out there, Doorknobs. There you go. Let's see. I wasn't going to pull the crafting stuff out, but we've got a little bit of time here between batches of cookies, so I'm going to grab that quick. I know a lot of people weren't able to join on Wednesday evening, a lot of weeknight activities, which I fully understand. But it's going to slide. Oops, as I bumped that. Slide that. But this is what we were working on Wednesday night. Just kind of try and rotate it here so you can see. So it's an ice cream pint cozy. And you slide it over your little pint of ice cream from the freezer. It keeps your hand warm and your ice cream cold. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, the ice cream holder, yes. Yep, so I got through about half of it. I got to keep working on it, but thought I'd show everyone my crafty project from the week. I'll probably work on this a little bit more this weekend. So, and actually, I wasn't sure about this yarn when I started to use it. Variegated yarn, you can never quite tell where it's going to change its colors and what the color pattern is going to look like, but I really like the way those colors work up on this. So you want one fancy piece? I think we can arrange that. I think you can, we'll take care of that. Just remind me the next time we get together that I'll bring you one. And in fact, if you like this one can be yours. So I got the idea when I was making coffee cozies for my coworkers, and I'd be eating ice cream, wrapping it in a towel, and it would still kind of stick to the towel and melt a little bit. And my brain just went, hey, make something that'll fit over an ice cream pint. So I've been working on making this for the last couple of months, I think is when I started that. So part of the challenge is remembering what stitch I was at here, and it's got my stitch markers to do that. But my hope someday is to get the pattern right and get an Etsy store open and start selling patterns, selling some of my crafting stuff. But yeah, this has long been a hobby of mine. And honestly, these little small projects are sometimes easier to manage than the giant ones. I think I mentioned on Wednesday night, I have a full-size bed Afghan that I have literally been making longer than I've known Rope Man. Thanks, Jokester. Appreciate it. So we got a couple minutes before we have to rotate the cookies, so we'll throw some stitches in here while we wait. So a lot of times, I just like doing this, if I'm watching a movie, watching a TV show. Sometimes I just have music playing. Stanley cuddles up with me. I cover him in a blanket, and he just snoozes while I crochet. That's his preferred way of me crocheting. He was not such a fan on Wednesday night of me crocheting while he wanted me to snuggle him. I just got the 1-minute warning from my timer. So, yeah. excited to get this pattern figured out, have some of my crocheting friends test it themselves, because what makes sense to me might not make sense to them. What did you say, Rope Man? Wait, when did this become a crafting stream? Became a crafting stream when I ran out of cookies to scoop up. So I'm making the most of my time, Rope Man. I'm multitasking. See, I can do two things at once. It's still a baking stream. We've got cookies in the oven. I'm going to rotate them here in just a moment. But, yeah, a little bonus crafting for everybody. Why not? Pull this stitch through, and then I'm going to check the cookies. There we go. Yes, timer, I hear you. There are a couple minutes on that. Oh boy, multitasking only goes wrong if I'm drinking alcohol while I try to multitask, because that's one task too many. I can handle baking and crocheting as long as I remember to set my timers. Timers are very important. Otherwise, there's a meme out there about crocheting. I'm going to just put one row on this, and 4 hours later, I'm still crocheting. And I have done way more than one row. So it is definitely a crafting thing that I can easily get lost in and lose track of time, which is not always a bad thing because it is my stress relief. And Rope Man, you want me to have my stress relief. I'm a much happier person when I have my stress relief. But yeah, so I'll probably, like this evening, I think I'm going to work a little bit on this. I have a baby blanket that I do need to get started for a friend of ours that are having a baby this summer. I was actually looking through, I have a boy like colored blanket, or a more boy colored blanket. I said it doesn't have to be for a boy. I just think of a boy when I make it. So I'll get some, I have some pink and white yarn that I think I'll grab. True statement, Rope Man, yes. Yep. It's like you with your video games. Okay. Not that I let you, because that implies that you need my permission to play video games. I encourage you to play video games because it's your stress relief. Yeah, and you need to have snacks before watching Jokester. Yeah, cooking will definitely do that. You should definitely join us tomorrow night. Rope Man and I are going to be making fresh pasta and fresh pesto. I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't made pasta in a while, so it's one of those things that takes a little bit of time, and usually when I want my pasta like within the next 20 minutes, so I just grab the boxed stuff. Try to catch it. Yeah, we don't have an exact time set. I know it's probably going to be for sure after 4 o'clock, probably more likely after 5 o'clock Central. We got to figure out when Stanley's going to get his constitutional, because an exercise dog is a happy dog most of the time. He does take exception, though, when he's not the center of attention. He's an only dog. We don't have kids, so he's used to having all of my attention most of the time. So streaming has actually been a change for him, and that's part of why he keeps asking me to pick him up and hold him, is he's just not used to that. Okay, we're going to move this aside. Ooh. I can tell the oven is getting a little hotter. This batch is just a tiny bit overcooked. It's okay. I got them out just in the nick of time. All right. Okay, so we'll let these cool. Again, a couple of minutes. And you can kind of tell they're a little bit darker. Not burnt yet, so again, I got them out just in time. 5-ish, yeah, man, I think 5-ish tomorrow, 5-ish Central is probably going to make the most sense because I'm estimating it's going to take an hour to make the pasta dough and get it rolled out and then cut. And then we have to make the pesto, which that doesn't take real long. Honestly, if I have the basil leaves washed and dried ahead of time, pesto comes together in like 5 to 10 minutes. And then we've got the shrimp to make. Pasta, when it's fresh, cooks super fast. You know, a couple of minutes is all that takes. So, yeah, I think 5-ish sounds fantastic. And we can always move it a little bit. I know you're planning to do some streaming tomorrow. And if it goes a little long, it's fine. As you love to say, it's fine. We'll make it work. Oh, Stanley might not think it's fine. He's very routine oriented. I mean, you get 15 minutes from dinner time and he's there waiting and reminding you that it is his dinner time. All right. Just keep watching my timer behind me to make sure I get these cookies removed from the pan in time. I don't want them to sit too long, just since I did leave them in the oven about, it might only have been a 30 seconds to a minute too long, so it'll be okay. And if Ropeman doesn't want to eat the slightly overdone cookies, oh well, more cookies for me. It's a good reminder, though, to hydrate a little bit more. And Stanley has wandered off, just to warn you, Ropeman, so who knows what he's up to. Oh, there he is. Hi. Welcome back. You still don't get any. But, yeah, you know, got one more batch in there. I think we're probably, I'm honestly about ready to call it, kind of keep it a little bit shorter today. I'll go cuddle up with the puppy, make him happy, do a little cleanup before Ropeman gets home. Yeah, I'm thinking that, yeah. I think that would be good. Let's see. I definitely appreciate everyone who stopped out today. I know Friday afternoons are hard here in the U.S. just because a lot of people are still at work. Just checking out and seeing, you're fine. He disagrees. Just noting that he does not agree with me at all. Let's see. Trying to find something fun going on out there. What do we got? I think I want to find someone who's cooking. Yeah, okay. I think I found someone that we'll find when we're all done here. All right, time to take the cookies off. I'm going to move down just out of my reach. Oh, sorry for the quiet. I'm just trying to make sure I don't drop any cookies since Stanley is literally standing right at my feet. Okay. Okay, Ropeman's leaving the office shortly. Perfect. All right. Okay, we'll switch back to that. We're all done with the overhead scenes here, but I wanted to thank everybody who stopped out today. Thank you so much for joining in my cooking streams. It's fun to share my love of baking with everyone. Plus, then I get some good food to eat on top of it, and so does Ropeman, and I know he appreciates that. Stanley also gets lots of goodies, so he appreciates that, minus the fact that I'm not snuggling him, which he does not appreciate. But quick shout out for the Pixels and Pints podcast tonight, starting at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's going to be with Dr. Boob Punch. They talk retro gaming, a lot of old RPG games, and of course beer, as the name implies. And I'll put, excuse me, I've got everything kind of cut off here with the cookies all covering one cabinet here, but Dr. Boob Punch. If you guys want to go check them out tonight, they are always having a fantastic time on there. And then I will be back tomorrow, approximately 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Ropeman and I will be in the kitchen. We're going to make that fresh pasta and pesto and then enjoy a delicious dinner. Probably have some cookies or something else equally delicious for dessert. And, of course, Stanley the dog. Bye! So, all right, I am going to get ready to raid out. We are going to raid into somebody new I haven't watched before. Cat Mayday, she is cooking. Doesn't say what they're cooking, but it says nice and casual. So, we'll go give her a check and see what is going on there. So hang around, and thank you all again for joining me.